Aja, text 11, chapter 11, text 41 to 42. Sakheti matva prasabham yadyuktam he Krishna he Yadava he Sakheti ajananta mahiman mam tavedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi yachavaha sartam asatkrutosi vihara sayasana bhojanesu eko tavapi achyuta tat samaksham tat kshamaye tvam aham aprameyam. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed to you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend. Not knowing your glories, please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Text 40. Do you want me to do text 43 to
No, I
42?
just want to relish this moment for a second.
Okay,
Because sure. So it's really amazing, right? You're with a friend, he's your equal, your cousins, and suddenly you realize, oh God, this is God, right? And you realize, oh, he's on the altar, he should be worshipped, and I have been like lying on the same bed, chatting, and having friendly affairs. And so for Arjun, it was like, whoa, what have I done? I'm sorry if I committed any offenses. And Krishna doesn't like that, actually. And that's why there is the presence of Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya in the spiritual world is supposed to put us under illusion. So just like Mahamaya in the material world, Durga Devi is putting us under illusion, and we think we are this body, we don't have any Krishna consciousness and things like that. Yoga Maya's role is to keep us in such a mode that we don't realize Krishna is God. And we can interact with Krishna without any inhibition and be his friend, his parents, be his girlfriend, be his pet, cow, calf, whatever. Nobody realizes he's God. So they can be free with him. And Krishna really likes that. He doesn't like it, when his near and dear ones. Of course, as Narayan, he likes all awe and reverence. But as Vrindavan Krishna, he's very much accessible and everything, and he likes it that way. So even for Arjun, Krishna, of course, shows a Vishwarup form, but then Arjun is able to interact with Krishna in a very informal way because he's also put under that Yogamaya potency. Because how else can Arjun kick Krishna, right? Because when Krishna is a charioteer, you don't say turn right, turn left. With your foot, you tell the charioteer whether to go this way or to go this way, right? That's what Arjun is doing to Krishna. That's the role Krishna has taken as a charioteer of Arjun. So how can you do that to God unless you're under illusion, right? Unless you forget that he is God and you can treat him like a charioteer. And Krishna puts himself in that position where he's being constantly kicked by his devotee. And that's the glory of Krishna. In fact, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India, I think it was Kurmak Kshetra, if I remember correctly, there was this illiterate Brahmana who everybody made fun of because he would pretend to read the Bhagavad Gita, but he didn't even know whether to hold it this way or that way, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard about this Brahmana, he approached this Brahmana and he said, my dear Brahmana, I heard you're illiterate and you don't know how to read, but yet you're looking at the Gita and you're crying. You have tears of ecstasy in your eyes, I see. And the Brahmana said, my spiritual master told me to read the Gita. Although I can't read, I try every day. But at least I look at the front cover, and that cover is the same cover we have in ISKCON's Bhagavad Gita. That Krishna is is a charioteer's place. Arjuna is, shooting arrows. So I look at this cover and I just wondered how magnificent, how magnanimous is the Supreme Personality of Godhead that he takes on this position of Shudra, driver's position, where he's being kicked by Arjun and he is, serving his devotee. right? How, and when I see this, tears of ecstasy falls from my eyes, that what kind of God we have. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately hugged him, embraced him, and he said, "You have understood the Bhagavad Gita more than these literate people." Right? And this is Krishna personally saying it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. He said, "You have understood the Bhagavad Gita more than these people have." And he hugged him. So that's a validation. So that's the beauty of Krishna's personality, how humble he is. Sometimes we struggle to see Krishna's humility, but it's everywhere, and we just have to look for it. The whole Bhagavad Gita is Krishna being humble, right? Krishna's whole aspect of being a messenger. Even imagine, the mailman. Who cares for the guy who brings Amazon parcels to you, right? That's what Krishna became for the Pandavas. He went to the Kauravas and said, "Don't fight this war, just give them 5 pieces of land, 5 villages, that's it, and will not have a war." So Krishna goes as a peace messenger. Again, that's a role of Amazon carrier guy, and that's what Krishna is doing. He's being a messenger. He's God. He doesn't have to, but he does it for his devotee, right? There's a beautiful story of Jagannath, where one devotee, one of his dear devotees, who was known to have very close relationship with Jagannath, but when he got sick, nobody would come near him, and he was very, very sick. He was dying, and he was passing urine and stool on himself. And Jagannath personally came, and he was cleaning all of that mess with his own hands. And this devotee, although sick, he opened his eyes and he saw Jagannath is being his nurse. And they said, "My lord, you can just take away my misery. You just take away the disease. Why are you just doing such dirty things, cleaning and all that?" He said, "I don't feel it's dirty. You're suffering because of your karma or offenses or whatever. But, I am here to take care of you. Just like a mother doesn't feel any dirtiness when cleaning child's diapers or whatever. I don't feel anything dirty. I'm happy to serve you, and that gives me immense pleasure." And Jagannath cured him also thereafter. But the point is, that's the nature of the Supreme Lord. Why do we feel happiness in serving the Lord? Because service is where happiness is. Enjoyment has happiness, no doubt. When we are being served, there is happiness. But when we are serving, there's more happiness. So the Supreme Lord also takes on that position to enjoy in a different way, enjoy servitude, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that was his whole agenda, that all these devotees seem to be happier than me, and I just want to enjoy like them. And I want to also serve Krishna and see what it's like to be my servant, right? So anyway, I thought this verse is very sweet, where Arjun is kind of regretting, like, "Oh God, I have treated you like a normal friend and slept on the same bed and relaxed together and jesting with you and making fun of you and all of that. And you happen to be God." So although Krishna is manifested before Arjun in his universal form, Arjun remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. I'll share something personal with you. So my mentor, Nityananda Pran Prabhu, as most of you know him. So when I was a teenager, I was being under his care, and we had a very friendly relationship, like a father-son relationship, where sometimes I would even punch him, and we'll just have like, he would joke at me, I would joke at him, and that kind of a stuff. And then I would see all these other students who were much more senior to me, master students. I was undergrad. And I see when they see Prabhuji, they would fall at the ground and pay prostrated obeisances to him. I'm like, what are they doing? I don't do that stuff. And they were like, "Oh, Prabhuji, Prabhuji." And like that, they would be showing so much reverence to him. Whereas, in our Krishna talk, I was the only student. So I never got to see how others treat him. So he would just come to me and he would teach me Bhagavad Gita, and that would be it. He would be gone and he'll give me prasadam, and that would be it. And I didn't realize, how a Vaishnava should be treated. So when I went to his house and I saw devotees treating him like that, I had the same Arjun effect. I'm like, should I be paying obeisance to you like that? He's like, no, 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 we are friends. Of course, he's humble. But eventually I realized that he's such a great person and such a elevated devotee, and I should not be treating him the way I treat him. And so I also started paying him obeisances. And now also when I meet him, I try to fall on the ground and he holds me before I could fall on the ground, and he hugs me. So it's the humility of the Supreme Lord and his devotees They don't want all that, but it is our purification that we should want to offer respect to Vaishnavas, because that purifies us. That humility makes Krishna happy. And Krishna says at the end of chapter 9, Matta Smriti Jnana Apopna. What was that? Yat Karoshi. Now, what was the last verse of chapter 9? Anybody remembers? Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Yes. So mam namaskuru. So Krishna is saying that you should pay obeisance to me. What is the secret to bhakti? Manmana bhava mad bhakto. Think of me in your mind. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru. Offer your obeisances to me. And if you do this, that's your bhakti. Just do it for me. Whatever you do it for me. So Krishna is giving a simple bhakti principle. So sometimes we struggle to do that also. And for me, it was a struggle to be in that servant of Krishna mode. I was like, no, I don't want to be anybody's servant. I don't want a God who treats others like a servant. And I was, trained like, no, it's not the servant like the person who comes and cleans your toilet. It's a servant means seva, means, you're offering your service to somebody. And just like your mother is serving you, your child is serving you, happiness comes from service. That's why people serve. People are serving their cars also, right? Cleaning their car, new car, cleaning their phone. I've seen like people, and they'll clean their phone, so it's all service, because that's what gives us happiness. So it's not, servant doesn't mean jarudar. Servant means anybody who renders loving service to the other person. So that's the loose translation in English as servant. Okay, any questions? Anything you want to ask? Okay.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Indranath.
Prabhuji, as you said that Mahamaya is there in this material world and Yogamaya is there in the spiritual world. So can Yogamaya take away, like take us away from Krishna, or
yes,
that is the role
that's
for
her whole job description. She's here to take us away from Krishna. Yes.
You said that like she keeps us like in the form ki we don't understand Krishna as God, but like we serve him, like we love him.
That's Yogamaya in the spiritual world. Sorry, am I mixing it up? Maybe I'm mixing it up. Mahamaya, Durga Devi, in the material world, she helps us forget Krishna.
Yeah. I am asking
Yogamaya, here she helps us forget Krishna so that we can do materialistic activities. Yogamaya in the spiritual world, she helps us forget Krishna so we can do devotional activities without hindrance. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Was I saying the opposite?
Yes, you said that. I was asking ki Yogamaya, not Mahamaya.
So my apologies. Yeah. So Yogamaya is Radharani's expansion, Bhakti Devi, and Mahamaya, we know Durga Puja is coming. She has 10 hands. She has her Trishul.
Yeah.
Right? The three. What does the Trishul represent? The three-pronged material distress. Adhyatmik klesha, Adibhautik klesha, and Adidaivic klesha. So she's pronging us with all these three. So somehow to make us suffer in this world, that's her role. If you forget Krishna, you suffer. Yes. So yes, her job description is to make us forget Krishna. And when she sees we are sincere, she is instructed by Krishna to get out of the way, and then we come under Krishna's jurisdiction, and she has no power. Jaha Krishna taha nai mayar adhikar. Krishna Surya sama, maya hai andhakar. Jaha Krishna taha nahi mayar adhikar. So when you turn on the Krishna light, the darkness of Maya leaves. She's like, okay, my boss is here. I have no role to play. I'm leaving. Thank you very much. I hope most of us are under Krishna's jurisdiction and not Maya's jurisdiction, because she's quite cruel actually. Lovingly, I mean, that's her role. She doesn't like it. Her job description, she actually, one time there's a pastime, but she's like, oh, what is my service? I'm always putting people away from you and making them suffer and all that. I don't like this. But that's her role. Okay, Anything else? Any other questions, clarification? Anyway, I screwed up. Anybody wants to correct me? I think I'm getting old. I say all wrong things nowadays. Okay. If no confusions, then we'll move on to the next verse, 1143. Who wants to read?
Text 43. Pithasi lokasya characharasya tvam asya pujyasya gururgariyan natvat samosti abhyadikah kutonyo lokatrayepi apratima prabhava. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? Do you want me to read 44 to Prabhuji?
No. This is fine.
Yeah,
I want
Hare
to go
Krishna.
deeper into this verse. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare.
Hare Krishna. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is worshipable as a father is worshipable for his son. He is a spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instruction to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So at the beginning of creation, when Lord Brahma was figuring out, who am I? Who's my creator? What am I doing here? So at that time, Brahma was looking for his father. He couldn't find, the lotus stem. Lotus, he's born. He went to the stem and it was too deep. So he came back up and he started doing tapasya. And then Govinda Madi Purusham, right? So Krishna, with his flute, he played the flute, and through the flute, he downloaded the entire Vedic knowledge to Brahma. And Brahma is, we are in the Brahma Madhava Gauriya Sampradaya. So we are very fortunate to be in that line of teachers, which includes Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma directly received it from Krishna himself. So Krishna is given that spiritual master's position because the original knowledge is coming from Krishna. So Vedas are not man-made. It's called apaurushaya. Apaurushaya means it is coming not from us. It is coming from the Supreme Lord. So the Vedic version, that's why, has things that human beings cannot fathomably know. For example, the cosmic structure of the universe. Millions of years ago, the Vedas are talking about this. 5,000 years ago, it was written down by Vyasadeva, but it has existed for millions of years. Various things about the childbirth, for example, the different phases of the fetus. So a lot of things you see in the Vedas are things we should not have known so many years ago, but we do because the creator's perspective. Now, a lot of times, some things might not match with modern day technology, modern day science. But we always put Vedas above science because science is observation knowledge through observation, which can be or cannot be true. For example, if somebody is observing a game of chess, they might or might not come to the right conclusion about the rules of the chess game. But one who has created the chess game knows the rules. So Vedas is from the creator's perspective. Science is from the observation perspective. Now, in the last 200 years, science has come a long way, and it has only come closer to the Vedic perspective, right? And it has a long way to go. But whenever there's a conflict between science and the Vedas, we always accept Vedas to be the higher truth. That is not dogmatic. That is because it has been proven over and over and over again how science was wrong. It had to correct itself. Wrong, correct itself. Wrong, correct itself. From Pythagoras to Archimedes to Socrates to whoever these personalities that we glorify today as a modern day scientists or whatever, even Newton and whatnot, they have found through trial and error things that the Vedas already spoke about long back. So Vedic knowledge is always considered superior. Now Krishna is that source of the Vedic knowledge. So here Krishna is worshipable as a father. That's what Arjuna is saying. You are the father of the complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving, right? So Jara Prakriti, so that things like stones and mountains that are non-moving, and moving, the living entities. He is a spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently he is instructing the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master, and any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of the disciplic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master of the transcendental subject matter. So to be a spiritual guru, a spiritual teacher, one has to come in the line of disciplic succession coming directly from Krishna. And we have explained that there are 4 sampradayas. What are they?
Prabhuji, Sri Sampradaya, Brahmamadya, Gaudiya Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, and the 4th one is Chatuskumara.
Very, very nice, Prayash. That was like a lawyer speaking from the law book. Very nice. So these are the 4 sampradayas. One is Lord Shiva, Lakshmi Devi, the Chatuskumar, the 4 sons of Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma himself. Right? That's where we belong, Lord Brahma himself. These are 4 disciplic successions. Those who speak in these lines are authorized and bona fide to be spiritual teachers. Those who don't are not bona fide and should not be taken seriously. And there will be no spiritual impact on you. You might like the stories they share. You know, a Sadguru or this Baba or that Baba might be able to move your heart. But a spiritual transformation happens only when you receive it from a direct, unbroken chain coming from Lord Krishna himself. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in Shetashvatara Upanishad. So God, by definition, is someone. There is no equal. There is no one higher. There is no cause, right? What is the definition of God? Anybody remembers? According to Lord Brahma? Not Prayash. Somebody else. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. What does that mean? Oh, come on. If somebody asks you, some atheist asks you, what's the definition of God? What will you say? You guys better know this at your fingertips. Interesting. Thank you, Akshat. Okay. Niladri Bihari Nayak is saying all 6 opulences, cause of all causes. Yes. He has no equal. Govindam Adi Purusham. Adi Purusham means he's the first being. There is nobody above him, nobody who created him. Right? Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes. Nobody equal to him. Right? And Niladri is saying the 6 opulences, all beauty, all power, all wealth. That's what makes him Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. Yes, all 6 opulences in full. So just like Lord Brahma is saying in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna, in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, same thing is being spoken. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natat samas chabhyatikas cha drishyate. Surely I heard your little baby. The Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like the ordinary man. But for him, there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons who do not perfectly know him say Krishna is different from his soul, mind, body, heart, everything else. Krishna is absolute, therefore his activities and potencies are supreme. So we have to understand what this means. Now, this is God Tattva. If it doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. This is Bhagavad Tattva, different dimension. For us, body is there, separate from the mind, from the intelligence, from the senses, right? These are separate things for us. For Krishna, it's not separate. Although we have Krishna-like form, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, and all of that. For Krishna, everything is interchangeable. It's all absolute. He can eat with his eyes. That's what he does when you offer bhoga to Krishna. He looks at it and he tastes the prasadam through his eyes. It is described in the scriptures. He can see with his ears. He can do whatever he wants. His senses are not like us. So although we look the same as Krishna, there's a huge difference between Krishna and us. That has been deciphered here, because sometimes it is also part of Maya Devi to showcase, oh, he was just another human being who was just famous and a little naughty and mischievous. No, very, very different, though looks similar. Krishna is absolute, therefore his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have any senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore, his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him, no one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead are all transcendental. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha Tyakta Devam Punarjanma Naiti Mam Eti Swarjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activity is perfection. After quitting his body, returns to him and doesn't come back again to this miserable world. So Janma Karma, Krishna's birth and his activities. So although he looks like just another person, another diplomat, another king of Dwarka, another son of Nand Maharaj, one who really knows his divine aspect, Divyam, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, the divine aspect of it, Krishna being a boy yet being God in that form, Krishna being the killer of demons as God. So all the Divyam aspect, one who understands, never takes birth again, goes directly back home, back to Krishna. This is very important to understand his divine nature. When we understand, see, it is very easy to get duped by Maya. A lot of people translate the Bhagavad Gita and they just take it as, okay, a great person talked about this. That's about it. They don't have the divine aspect. That's the confidential knowledge of chapter 9. Because why is it confidential knowledge? Because Krishna is exhibiting his divinity. Chapter 10, even furthermore, he's exhibiting his divinity. Only when we understand the divine aspect, the whole Bhagavad Gita is clear. Otherwise, you can get management lessons, you can get leadership lessons, you can get psychological lessons and all of that, but you don't get bhakti. Bhakti is accessible when we understand Bhagavad. Okay? All right, let's see if there are any questions. Okay, moving on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Yogesh Prabhu.
Prabhu, I have a question over here. It says, yeah, so not can anyone be, how then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds? This three worlds has been referred to quite some time. I mean, in all the previous verses. I mean, for a fact, we know that there are 14 realms and whatnot. What is the significance of these three worlds and what are they?
So 14 realms are divided into 3 segments. There is the middle planetary system, the upper planetary system, and the lower planetary system. So middle planetary system, Bhumandala, is where we are. There's the heavenly realms, 7 up, 7 below, and something of that sort. So 3 worlds, meaning the upper planetary system, the middle planetary system, and the lower planetary system.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Going once, going twice. Okay, moving on. All right, so here it says, Chaitanya Charitamrita confirms Ekala Ishwar Krishna Arsha Bhritya. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. Now, we read this purport, but is everyone really following? What does that mean? I want you guys to kind of think about the statement again and tell me, what does this mean? It says everyone is complying with his order. How? The world is going to hell. There's all kinds of nonsense happening. So how is everyone complying with his order? There is no one who can deny his order. What is being meant here?
I mean, everything is created by him, right? And orchestrated by him. So eventually, even if the world is going in a different direction, that is what is Krishna's plan is.
Okay. All right. Anybody
Hare
else?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Uh,
Mataji.
Maybe something like this, that according to our karma, everything is destined and everything is already decided. And whatever the karma we do in this like body, that um, like we will be getting the rewards or the punishments, I can say, in the next birth, or some of them in this birth and some of them in the next birth.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Roji, the material world is designed to be a prison house, and where we wanted to be all in control, right? So that's how the yuga cycles go, and like it has to go to Satya Yuga, Dapa, Treta, Dapar, and Kali, and just repeat and repeat again to kind of give the feeling of the soul being in control. That's
So you can
how
deny Krishna, but you cannot deny Krishna's system.
exactly, yes.
Right? Yeah. So that's Vibhuti Mataji and Yogesh Prabhu, Prayash Prabhu. Yeah. So you all said the right thing, that yeah, there is, you can deny Krishna, but everyone is complying with his order, because time is the biggest thing, right? You can't defy time. You cannot say stop time. You have to get old. You have to die. You have to, get sick. So Krishna's laws are working. You can deny Krishna, but you cannot deny the laws. Even Queen Elizabeth, after 96 years, she's dead, right? You can't live on and on and on, no matter who you are. So that's the thing. And as Mother Vibhuti, she said, karma, right? So we are doing activities and we are facing the consequence of our karma, and no one can avoid it. No one can stop it except for Krishna. Krishna bhakti happens, then karma gets burnt out by Krishna's kind mercy. But otherwise, you get, and you cannot get any, you cannot bribe any police officer, you cannot get out of jail free card, nothing like that. What you do, so shall you reap. So you can deny Krishna, but Krishna's orders are being followed by everyone, because we are in this system and this system works, and we are all following that system, whether we like it or not, whether we accept God exists or not. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. One thing though, I want to just clarify that this destiny, we should not be under the impression that it's all predefined. We are creating our destiny. Our past activities has led to current circumstances. Current circumstances, we make choices that leads to our future circumstances. That's how karma grows, and that's how destiny is. So we should not blame God for it. It is our making. We are creating our destiny as we go along in life. Just want to make sure that that is very, very clear to everyone, because karma can be misunderstood.
Prabhuji, so if that's the case, then is Vedic astrology is a generalistic impression of what a soul could actually go through in a life if they don't drastically change the current situation?
So
Is
Vedic
that true?
astrology is based on your karma. So when a child is born, based on the past life that the child, whatever they have done, based on the time of their birth, they're born under certain astrological, or astronomical what's the word? Constellation. Yeah, astronomical constellation, which leads to certain predictability of their karma. So the better the astrologer is, the better they can predict the karma. Like for Prabhupada's astrologer told his father, this boy is going to build a house where the whole world can reside. And that house is called ISKCON. But the whole world can reside in that house, right? So like that, a good astrologer can predict based on the person's background, their time of birth and everything. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time of birth was very specific. Right? In Kali Yuga, at this time, God is supposed to appear, and he appeared. So yeah, having said that, karma can be burnt, and Vedic astrology is like a weather report, weather forecast rather, that it might rain, 90% probability, bring an umbrella with you. But by Krishna's mercy, rain can be stopped also. Laws of nature can be changed.
Prabhuji, that's the best analogy that I got about astrology.
Disciplic succession. I have no credit. All right, moving on to the next verse. Aparna, you want to read?
Hare Krishna.
Hari
Yeah,
Bol.
sure, I'll read. So, chapter 11, text 44. Tasmat pranamya pranidhyaya kayam prasadyaye tvam aham isam idam pitevya putrasya sakhevya sakyu priya priya harshi deva sodhum. Translation: You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus, I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, of a friend, the impertinence of a friend, or a husband, the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is a very nice, humble, and at the same time very intimate prayer, because throughout the day we are also committing a lot of offenses to Krishna, knowingly or unknowingly. Sleep chanting, or not honoring prasadam, or somebody gives a prasadam, like, I'll eat later on. So knowingly or unknowingly, we don't take Krishna very seriously sometimes. So it's a nice way when we feel that, oh, you know what, I have not been respectful to Krishna, I've not been respectful to his devotees. And it's a nice way to repeat Arjuna's words as a prayer. You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask for your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of a son, a friend, the impertinence of a friend, right? Friends don't mind. You say each other terrible things. Yeah, yes, we are friends. And a husband, the familiarity of a wife, right? When you become familiar as couple and whatnot, respect sometimes goes out of the window, and you say and do things to each other that are not necessarily always respectful. Sometimes it's understood, sometimes it's hurtful, but nevertheless, it is being mentioned here that just like there is forgiveness in all of these situations, and one looks above this, and what is more important is a relationship. Please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. So Krishna's devotee relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, or as a friend, or as a master. And Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As a father tolerates, or a husband or a master tolerates, so Krishna also tolerates. Krishna doesn't take offense. It's very beautiful, the example of who's that Muni who kicks Krishna in the chest? Angira? No. Anyway, Krishna doesn't generally take offense to himself. And what to speak of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Bhargav Muni. Okay. Bhargav Muni. He kicked Krishna, the Supreme Lord, in the chest, and he said, oh, my chest is very rough. It's very tough. I hope your foot is okay. Right? Krishna is very humble. That's his humility. He's taking the position of a charioteer, being a Shudra. He's, somebody kicks him in the chest and he says, is your foot okay? So Krishna is very, very humble. As much as he flaunts and shows off, and he has his moments of godly, showing off, but he's also showing the humility side of him. But we should learn to appreciate the various aspects of Krishna and how loving and tolerant he is, right? For example, he's in the heart, but we're going to the toilet every day with Krishna in the heart. Imagine that, right? He doesn't mind. He's there with us, whether we are in the best of times or worst of times. When all our friends leave us, Krishna is there. When all our friends are with us, Krishna is still there. So one person we can depend on, holding our hand in good and bad times. He never dies, thank God. Parents die, right? Spouses can die, kids can die, but Krishna doesn't die. So one person you can depend on is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's very tolerant. Not only is he humble, he's forgiving, and he's tolerant of our misgivings. Knowingly or unknowingly, we make offenses. Krishna doesn't take offense. But he takes great offense when his devotees are offended. He does not have too much tolerance there. Unless we are remorseful in our heart of hearts and we offer our respects. As soon as we realize, oh my God, I've offended a devotee, if you're remorseful, then Krishna understands, okay, he was not, he's genuine remorse, so it's okay. But if one doesn't have remorse and he is evilish, in a way towards devotees, causing them harm, Krishna does not tolerate that. In fact, like Dhruva Maharaj was a little boy. You guys know the story of Dhruva Maharaj? Should I share?
Please share, Prabhuji.
So Dhruva Maharaj was the grandson of Manu, if I remember correctly. Was it? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, so Dhruva Maharaj's father was, Yogesh, can you be my Google, please? So his father was a son of Manu, and Manu is a son of Lord Brahma. So as Dhruva Maharaj was playing, he saw that King Uttanapada, if I remember correctly, is it Uttanapada? Anyway, Dhruva Maharaj's father was allowing his stepbrother to be on his lap. And Dhruva Maharaj wanted to be on his father's lap, as a child would. He said, I want to be on your lap also. And at that time, his stepmother, she protested. She said, no, to be on your father's lap, you have to be born from my womb. Otherwise, you cannot be on your father's lap. That is only for my child. And Dhruva Maharaj felt extremely hurt, King Uttanapada, yes. He felt extremely hurt. And he looked at his father, and his father did not make any thing to correct his wife. And he started crying. He said, my dear father, please say something to her. Can I not be on your lap just because I'm not born from her? And his father said, that's right. So he was hurt. He was angry. He was a Kshatriya. So he went crying and running to his mother. And he says, my dear mother, Suniti said this. Suniti is the stepmother. It's like she said that if I'm not born from her, I can't be on my father's lap. And his mother said, I'm so sorry, my dear child, but that is the fact. She practically has your father by the finger. And, there's nothing I can do about it. So Dhruva Maharaj said, somebody should be able to do something, but this is unfair. This is unjust. Somebody should be able to do something about it. And she said, well, the only person who can do something about it is Supreme Lord. Okay, where is the Supreme Lord? I want to find him. She said, I don't know. People say the great ascetics, the great sages, they go to the forest to find the Supreme Lord. Maybe you can go to the forest and find him. I don't know. Dhruva Maharaj said, great, I'm leaving right now. No, you're a little boy. What will you do in the forest? You don't know the ways of the forest. No, I don't care. I need justice. And I want a kingdom larger than my father, larger than my grandfather, and larger than my great-grandfather. So I'm going to meet the Supreme Lord, and I'm going to be more powerful than my father. And then I'm going to, give justice to what is happening here. He goes to the forest. Narad Muni catches him and says, my dear little boy, where are you going? He said, I'm going to see the Supreme Lord. He's like, but you're just a boy. Why don't you grow up? And then you can, do some tapasyas and see the Lord face to face. No, I want to see him now. Do you know how to see the Lord? You're a sage. He said, yes, I'm a sage. He said, then tell me how to see the Supreme Lord face to face. And Narad Muni tries to kind of, like, no, it's okay. Calm down. You're angry right now. I understand. Go home, grow up, come. Nope, I want to see the Lord right now. So his intensity and determination to see the Supreme Lord was very, very firm and fixed. So Narad Muni saw that his intensity is strong to see the Lord. So he said, okay, very well. Here is what you can do. In 6 months, if you do this tapasya, you will see the Lord face to face. The first month, you would have to, meditate on the Supreme Lord. I think with no food or drinking water only once a day, something like that. Next month, no food, no water. Next month, breathing only once a day or something like that. So crazy, crazy hard. And Dhruva Maharaj did all that. He, went through month by month, and the last month, I think there were some fires around in the scorching heat of summer, and he was doing tapasya, standing on one leg in yoga posture, and he saw the Supreme Lord face to face. Lord Narayan came, and Dhruva Maharaj looked at him, and all the wishes he had of owning, a kingdom larger than his grandfather, Lord Brahma, Manu, world. Lord Brahma is the universe. He wanted something bigger than the universe. So all of that went away through his head. He just looked at Lord Narayan and he was stunned. Like, whoa, he is so beautiful, right? And he couldn't speak. So Lord Narayan took his conch shell, his four-armed form, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So he took his Shankha and tapped gently on Dhruva Maharaj's head. Dhruva Maharaj came to his senses and it's like, my Lord, I was looking for broken glass, but you've given me diamond. Just by seeing you, my heart is fully satisfied. I don't want anything else. He said, no. You asked for it and you shall receive it. No, my Lord, I don't want anything. And the Lord said, no, you will be ruling for the next 60,000 years. And then I'll give you access to Dhruva Loka, which is a spiritual world within the material world. So you wanted something bigger than the material world? I've made that arrangement for you. So as you go back, you will get your father's throne and you will rule for 60,000 years. And after that, you will be also ruling the Dhruva Loka, the spiritual world. And thereby, his wish was fulfilled, although he didn't want it. But because he has a material desire, Lord fulfilled his wish and also gave him liberation thereafter. So that's why it says, if you have material desires, Krishna will fulfill that also. Anyway, as he goes back, he goes back as a great sage and all his family members are there offering obeisances and everything. And his father is crying, I'm very sorry, I wronged you. It was very unfair. But now that he has become a pure devotee, Suniti, or sometimes she's called Sunasti for her nasty behavior, she had to suffer. So she offended a little boy. But when he became a pure devotee, I think she was burned to ashes or something like that. She had to suffer for her offense to Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj, although forgiving, Suniti was not forgiven by the Supreme Lord. Dhruva Maharaj was willing to forgive everyone, but Suniti was not forgiven. But the beauty of it is after 60,000 years and everything, as Dhruva Maharaj's reign was over and he was going to go for spiritual world, a spaceship arrived, taking him to spiritual world. And death personified, that is Yamraj, with his head bowing down, became the staircase for Dhruva Maharaj. So it says devotees don't die, right? So he stepped on the head of death and walked on to his golden chariot. And then he remembered his mother. He said, my mother was the reason why I was able to go to the forest, meet Narad Muni, and see the Supreme Lord face to face. So it is only fair that now that I am going to the spiritual world, my mother should also. And he was shown by the Vishnu Dutas, oh, there is a golden chariot right behind you. And there is your mother entering that chariot. So you're not going alone. Your mother is also going because she was your Patha Pradarshak Guru, right? There are three kinds of Guru. Vartana Pradarshak, those who show you the way, like, oh, ask that person, go to ISKCON or read Bhagavad Gita as it is. The answers are there. Then there's a Shiksha Guru who guides you verse by verse, step by step through the process. And then there's the Diksha Guru who officially connects you with the Guru Shishya Parampara. So like that, there are three Gurus. So his mother was his first Guru, Vartana Pradarshak Guru. So she showed the way, go to the forest. That's where they say God is. And so that's why he was grateful. He's like, now that I'm going back to Godhead, I want to make sure my mother is also there. And there's like, yes, their mother is right there. She's also getting on the golden chariot. So even if we just point somebody towards devotion, we don't know what that person might become, an acharya or a devotee or a pure devotee. But just by doing that, we will also go back to God, right? So it's the whole process is very merciful. The bhakti process, if you do a little bit, Krishna is giving us so much reward, so much encouragement. So with that, I'll pause today and see if you guys have any questions. Thank you, Akshat, for constantly providing me with the information that I'm forgetting. And so Yogesh Prabhu as well. Okay, any questions? So the point of sharing the story was that offenses to Krishna doesn't care, he's very forgiving. But offenses to his devotees, like Suniti did to Dhruva Maharaj, they are generally not forgiven. So be very careful when dealing with devotees, right? Because it can be the end of your spiritual life. Of course, we won't be burned to ashes, don't worry, because we're not dealing with Dhruva Maharaj like devotees. But at the same time, it could mean you stop chanting Hare Krishna, you find this whole process is, it's all bogus. Oh, these ISKCON people are all this, right? That means Maya is acting on you. And when we feel repulsion towards Krishna Bhakti and move away towards other things, that means we have committed great offense. So when you know it, when your chanting is going down, when your taste for hearing Krishna Katha is going down, when your taste for devotee association is going down, understand you've committed an offense. So that's why we chant Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. So in the morning we chant that mantra. So in case we have knowingly or unknowingly committed offenses to Vaishnavas, somehow or other, we pray to Krishna, my dear Krishna, I don't want to cause anyone any harm, but in case I have, I beg for your forgiveness, and I beg for the forgiveness of that devotee who I might have offended. And seeing the sincerity in the heart, Krishna takes care of things. Right? If we know the person we have offended, we should go to their lotus feet and pay our obeisances and beg for forgiveness. I just did that to a friend of mine in Hyderabad. He was not talking to me for a little bit, and my intention was right. He was doing certain deity worship, but he was not following the 4 regulative principles. And I told him, this is dangerous what you're doing. And he took great offense to me talking about him not following 4 regulative principles. And he stopped talking to me, but he's a devotee. So when I went to Hyderabad, the first thing I did was go to his place and fall at his feet and ask for forgiveness. And he hugged me, and thankfully we are in talking terms again. But it's very important that no matter what, even if we are trying to do good to others, people might take offense, and we are supposed to beg for forgiveness, because you never know how Krishna sees that. So we want to make sure that Krishna is smiling. Like I've been asked to make an announcement about a great sannyasi, some mistake that this great sannyasi did. And I was kind of scared, because of course people who love the sannyasi will hate me for it, and I don't care about that. But I don't want Krishna to be upset. So I asked my authorities that if I make this announcement, will this be Vaishnava offense? And they said, no, you're stating the fact. You're not giving your opinion. So it's not offense. So being cautious is important. Being malicious is very detrimental. So don't be malicious, and don't walk on eggshells either. Don't have to worry about always like, oh God, am I committing? That's not the point of this. Point is, if somebody hurts you or something, try not to take offense, because you have the power to stop that person's spiritual life. And if you end up offending someone, just ask for forgiveness. And that way, in devotional life, you will have less friction in your bhakti path. All right, with that, I'll end today. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. Have a good day.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.